What if I told you that most people today are living in quiet defeat? Not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack inner strength. Mental strength, the kind that stands firm when life gets hard. The kind that doesn't break when the world turns cold. We scroll endlessly, we compare constantly, we envy quietly. And then we wonder why we feel stuck, weak, and tired. We chase comfort, yet wake up empty. We avoid pain, yet suffer every single day. Here's the harsh truth: comfort is not your friend. It's a slow poison, a silent killer of potential. While struggle, though painful, though exhausting, carries within it the seed of power. Because struggle is the gym for your mind. And those who train in discomfort become unshakable. The ancient Stoics understood this long before our time. Before smartphones, before social media, before self-help became a trend. They faced betrayal, war, loss, and death, and they did it with calm strength. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just wisdom, it's a weapon. Because life will never stop being hard, but you can become harder to break. That's the essence of Stoicism. It doesn't make life easy, it makes you unstoppable. And that's what this journey is about. Welcome to Behind Mind's Secret, where we dive deep into truths that don't just motivate you for a day. They rewire you for life. In this video, we're not chasing motivation. We're learning laws that forge warriors of the mind. 8 brutal Stoic laws that strip away weakness. That challenge your habits, your emotions, your excuses. And rebuild you from the inside out. Each law comes from the ancient teachings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Tested in chaos, battle, betrayal, and silence. And still powerful today. So don't sit back like this is background noise. Don't scroll while you listen. This isn't entertainment, it's transformation. If you're serious about growth, like this video. Drop a comment when a truth hits you. And share it with someone who needs this wake-up call. Because someone you know right now is fighting a battle they can't talk about. And one truth, one shift in mindset, might change everything. So don't skip ahead. Don't fast forward. Because even one missed law could cost you the strength you'll need in your next storm. This is where it begins. In the place where comfort dies, and strength is born. This is Behind Mind's Secret. And this is the path of the Stoic. Law number 1, embrace discomfort like it's training. We've been taught to run from pain, to chase ease, to worship comfort. But comfort is the slowest way to die. It drains your edge, dulls your mind, and softens your will. The Stoics knew that real power is forged in friction. That struggle is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Marcus Aurelius didn't avoid hardship, he trained through it. Wars, betrayal, sickness, loss, yet he remained steady. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Those aren't just poetic words, they're battle commands. Every obstacle is a weight meant to strengthen you. Every failure is a lesson sharpening your resolve. Every rejection, a mirror reflecting how badly you still want it. We've built a culture that avoids pain at all costs. We want results without resistance, growth without grind. But every time you choose comfort, you sacrifice potential. The Stoics practiced discomfort on purpose. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in Rome, would sleep on hard ground, eat coarse bread, wear rough clothes. Not because he loved suffering, but because he trained for chaos. He knew the truth: when you control your relationship with pain, pain loses control over you. Modern life whispers, avoid pain. Stoicism answers, train for it. That cold shower you're avoiding, that workout you're skipping, that honest conversation you keep delaying. Those are your training grounds. Every small act of chosen discomfort strengthens your will. Discomfort is your mirror. It shows you who you are and who you're becoming. It exposes weakness not to shame you, but to sharpen you. Because when you run from small pain today, life will hand you a bigger one tomorrow. But if you face it now, calmly, willingly, you'll walk into chaos like a soldier prepared for battle. Don't confuse peace with ease. Peace comes from strength, and strength is born in struggle. So from now on, stop praying for comfort, start training for conflict. Stop seeking safety, start seeking growth. Every challenge is not a punishment, it's preparation. When your body says, stop, your mind must whisper, keep going. When your fear says, run, your courage must say, stand. Because the one who embraces discomfort becomes immune to fear. Remember this truth. The path of least resistance creates the weakest version of you. The path of struggle creates the strongest. So today, choose one act of discomfort. Something small. Something hard. Something real. Because the fire you step into now is forging the armor you'll wear tomorrow. Drop this in the comments right now. Discomfort is my training ground. Because once you learn to love discomfort, you become unstoppable. Law number 2, stop being owned by your emotions. How many times have you lost peace over something small? Someone cuts you off in traffic, someone ignores your text. One comment ruins your mood. And suddenly, your entire day is gone. That's not control, that's slavery. Because if your peace depends on everything around you, you don't own your life, your emotions do. Epictetus knew this well. He was born a slave, beaten, humiliated, stripped of power. But he discovered something his masters could never touch. His mind. He wrote, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. They can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed. Think about that. Every time you explode, every time you react out of anger or fear, you hand your power to someone else. The Stoics weren't emotionless, they were emotionally disciplined. They didn't suppress feelings, they mastered them. They felt everything deeply, but refused to be ruled by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That is power in its purest form. To stay calm while others lose control. To stay centered when chaos tries to pull you apart. Most people live like puppets. Their strings pulled by insults, praise, fear, and envy. But the Stoic cuts the strings and takes back the throne of his mind. Control doesn't mean you never feel. It means you don't feed every feeling that appears. You can feel anger without acting in anger. You can feel fear without being frozen by it. You can feel sadness without drowning in it. The difference between weakness and wisdom is not in what you feel, but in how you respond. Next time you're triggered, pause. Don't react, don't post, don't speak. Breathe once, step back, ask yourself, is this emotion useful right now? If yes, use it. If no, release it. That single breath separates the reactive from the powerful. Because when you master that pause, you master yourself. People will notice. You'll start radiating calm in situations where others panic. You'll stop being dragged by every storm. And start directing the weather within you. In a world of emotional chaos, Stability is magnetic. Silence is strength. Stillness is power. The Stoic doesn't say, "I feel nothing." He says, "I feel everything, but nothing controls me." And that's the highest level of freedom there is. Drop this truth in the comments. I control my emotions, they don't control me. Because when you stop being owned by your emotions, you stop being owned by the world. Law number 3, stop expecting fairness. Life owes you nothing. Let that truth settle deep. You can work hard, give everything, and still lose. You can love deeply, and still be betrayed. You can do the right thing, and still get punished. And when that happens, most people break and scream, "This isn't fair." But fairness is a story we tell ourselves to feel safe. And the Stoics knew better. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, witnessed injustice every single day. Corruption, betrayal, lies, death. And yet he never gave his peace away. He wrote, "You can commit injustice by doing nothing." Meaning, don't wait for fairness, act with strength. The universe isn't designed to be fair. It's designed to test you. It's designed to strip away your illusions. Until you realize, you can't control how life treats you, only how you respond to it. Seneca said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." Because when life feels unfair, just standing tall is an act of rebellion. The average person waits for the world to be kind before they act with courage. The Stoic acts with courage, even when the world is cruel. Fairness feels comforting, but it can make you weak if you cling to it. When you say, "This isn't fair," what you're really saying is, "I don't want to face this." But reality doesn't care about feelings. It only rewards resilience. You don't grow by expecting life to be just. You grow by adapting when it's not. Because strength is not built in fairness. It's built in fire. The Stoic doesn't wait for fairness. He creates balance inside himself. He doesn't blame. He builds. He doesn't complain. He conquers. So when you're wronged, don't waste your energy begging the world to treat you right. Use the pain as fuel. Build yourself so strong that nothing external can break you again. Fairness is a fantasy. Freedom is a choice. And the moment you stop expecting one, you start creating the other. So stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" Don't seek fairness, seek fortitude. Don't chase justice, build resilience. Because when your peace no longer depends on fairness, you become unstoppable. Drop this in the comments. I don't expect fairness, I create strength. Because life doesn't promise fairness, but it rewards power. Law number 4, focus on what you can control, let go of the rest. Here's a brutal truth. Most of what you worry about isn't under your control. You can't control what people say, what they think, how they treat you, or what tomorrow brings. But you can control your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude toward all of it. That's where real power lies. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Simple words, life-changing truth. Most people waste their strength fighting storms they can't stop, trying to bend the world instead of mastering themselves. But the Stoic knows, you can't control the wind. You can only adjust the sail. And that's what separates the anxious from the calm, the weak from the wise. The moment you shift your focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable, you take your power back. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you live that truth, nothing can truly break you. Because even when life falls apart, you can still choose how to respond. You can respond with calm instead of chaos, with action instead of anger, with purpose instead of panic. Imagine standing in a storm. The wind howls, the rain hits hard. But your hands stay steady on the wheel. That's the Stoic way. You don't waste energy screaming at the sky. You steer your ship. Every time you focus on things beyond your control, you trade peace for powerlessness. You hand your energy to the outside world. But when you focus only on what's yours, your choices, your discipline, your reactions, you become centered, grounded, unshakable. This isn't about being passive. It's about being precise. The Stoics didn't avoid life, they faced it wisely. They acted where they could act, and accepted what they couldn't. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask one simple question. Is this within my control? If yes, act. If no, let go. That question will save your peace more than any prayer. The truth is, you can't control how others behave, but you can control how you rise above them. You can't control the chaos, but you can control the calm within. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your effort. And when you master that, you stop being a victim of circumstance and become the author of your life. So from now on, focus small, act strong, let go of the rest. Drop this truth in the comments. I control my mind, not the world. Because once you live that, nothing outside of you will ever control you again. Law number 5, practice voluntary hardship to build unbreakable will. In a world addicted to comfort, discipline is rebellion. Most people avoid struggle like it's a disease. And that's why they stay weak. The Stoics saw comfort for what it really is. A silent thief that steals your strength one day at a time. They didn't wait for hardship to test them. They tested themselves. Seneca, one of Rome's richest men, would deliberately sleep on the floor, wear rough clothes, eat cheap food, and whisper to himself, "Is this what I feared?" Because he knew the only way to defeat fear is to face it by choice. Voluntary hardship is not about suffering for no reason. It's about preparation. When you choose discomfort on your own terms, life's chaos can never catch you off guard. Marcus Aurelius faced plagues, wars, betrayal. But none of it broke him. Because hardship was part of his training. Not a surprise. Ask yourself, when life hits hard, will you crumble or command yourself? The Stoics trained their minds like soldiers. They practiced hunger to master desire. They practiced silence to master anger. They practiced simplicity to master greed. Because every small discomfort made them stronger. We, on the other hand, run from even the smallest inconvenience. The cold shower, the missed meal, the early alarm. But every time you run from discomfort, you're running from your own growth. Voluntary hardship builds the one muscle the modern world forgot. Willpower. You don't need motivation when you have willpower. You don't need ideal conditions when you have control over yourself. You just show up, no matter how you feel. That's what separates the ordinary from the unbreakable. Try this. Do something hard today on purpose. Skip comfort food for a day. Wake up an hour earlier. Train when your mind says no. Speak the truth when fear says stay silent. These are not punishments, their practice. Because when you practice hardship in peace, you'll perform calmly in chaos. The Stoics didn't build comfort. They built character. They understood that the body grows in pain. And the mind does too. They chose small discomforts daily, so that when big ones came, they were already ready. Hardship doesn't destroy you, it introduces you to yourself. It reveals what's fake and strengthens what's real. And every act of voluntary struggle builds an invisible armor around your soul. The world fears discomfort. The Stoic befriends it. So from now on, don't pray for easy days. Pray for the strength to endure difficult ones. Don't run from discomfort. Train in it until it bows to you. Drop this truth in the comments. I train my will, not my comfort. Because when you learn to choose discomfort willingly, you become a force that nothing can break. Law number 6, detach from outcomes, fall in love with the process. We live in a world obsessed with results. Views, numbers, recognition, applause. Everyone's chasing outcomes. But almost no one is mastering the process. That's why most people feel anxious, restless, and empty. Because the more you cling to results, the more you suffer when they don't come fast enough. The Stoics saw through this illusion. They knew you can't control outcomes, but you can control effort. You can't command results, but you can command discipline. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You can work hard and still fail. You can plan everything and still fall short. But if you gave your best effort, you've already won." The Stoic doesn't chase perfection. He chases progress. He doesn't wait for success to feel peace. He finds peace in showing up. Because the process, the repetition, the focus, the craft, is where greatness grows. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." In other words, stop obsessing over results you can't see yet, and give your energy fully to the action in front of you. If you're building something, build it for mastery, not applause. If you're learning, learn to understand, not to impress. If you're training, train to grow, not just to win. Because when you tie your self-worth to outcomes, you become fragile. But when you tie it to effort, you become unstoppable. The world worships the finish line. The Stoic worships the stride. Because the stride, the act of showing up every day, is where strength lives. Detach from results, not because they don't matter, but because they're never fully in your control. And the moment you stop clinging, you start moving freely. You stop being desperate. You stop chasing validation. You stop panicking over timelines. You become steady, consistent, grounded. Ironically, that's when you start achieving more. Because pressure disappears and presence returns. The Stoic doesn't say, "I will succeed." He says, "I will show up." He acts without needing guarantees. He does the work, not for the reward, but for the transformation. That's what separates obsession from mastery. So from now on, don't chase outcomes, craft them. Don't demand results, deserve them. Fall in love with the repetition, the focus, the grind. Because that's where greatness hides. And when success finally arrives, you won't be surprised. You'll be ready. Drop this truth in the comments. I master the process, not the outcome. Because once you fall in love with the process, no failure can ever take your peace away. Law number 7, remember death, live with urgency and purpose. Most people live like they'll live forever. They waste time, delay dreams, and act as if tomorrow is guaranteed. But it's not. And that's exactly what the Stoics wanted us to remember. Memento mori, remember death. Not to be dark. To be alive. To wake up. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. That's not fear, that's freedom. Because when you remember how short life really is, you stop wasting it. You stop arguing over nonsense. You stop seeking approval from people who don't even know themselves. You stop waiting for the right time. You start living now." The Stoics meditated on death every day. Not to invite it, but to respect it. They understood that every second that passes is one you'll never get back. So every moment must matter. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. We waste years waiting for life to begin. We scroll, we envy, we complain, we wait. As if we have infinite time. But your time is running out." And once that truth sinks in, life becomes sharper, deeper, and infinitely more beautiful. When you remember death, you live with urgency. You speak your truth. You forgive faster. You love harder. You stop pretending to be who you're not. Because nothing burns away the unnecessary faster than mortality. Death is not coming to steal your life. It's coming to remind you to live it fully. It's not your enemy, it's your teacher. It whispers, "Use this day. It won't return." The Stoic doesn't fear death. He fears wasting life. Because death cannot be avoided. But a wasted life can. You don't get to decide how long you live. But you do get to decide how deeply you live. Every breath, every choice, every sunrise is a gift. Don't spend it chasing approval or running from fear. When you remember death, you stop living on autopilot. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop seeking meaning. And start creating it. Ask yourself, if today was your last, would you still waste it scrolling? Would you still hold grudges? Would you still hide your dreams behind fear? Or would you finally do what your heart's been whispering for years? That's what memento mori truly means. Live so fully that death finds you ready. Because when you remember that every second could be your last, you stop existing and start living. So from today forward, wake up like it's a gift. Speak like it's your last chance to inspire. Work like time is running out, because it is. Drop this truth in the comments. I remember death, so I live fully. Because once you accept your mortality, you stop fearing life. And start mastering it. Law number 8, be a warrior for virtue, not approval. Look around. Most people don't live by truth anymore. They live by attention. They say what's popular, not what's right. They do what gets applause, not what builds character. But the Stoic doesn't live for praise. He lives for principle. Marcus Aurelius said, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." That's the essence of integrity. To choose virtue, even when no one's watching. The Stoics believed that strength without virtue is emptiness. Because what good is success if you lose yourself to get it? What good is power if it costs your peace? The Stoic path isn't about perfection, it's about principle. It's about living in a way that your soul respects. Even when the world misunderstands you. Seneca wrote, "I will govern my life and thoughts as if the whole world were to see the one and read the other." That's the highest form of honesty. To live so cleanly that even your private thoughts would bring no shame. You see, the crowd will always shift. Today they cheer, tomorrow they cancel. If you depend on their approval, you'll never know who you really are. Virtue means doing what's right because it's right. Not because it's easy. Not because it's rewarded. Not because it's seen. It means keeping your word when it hurts. It means standing for truth when it's unpopular. It means saying no when your comfort says yes. And make no mistake, this world will test your integrity. It will tempt you with shortcuts, lure you with status, and pressure you to conform. But every time you choose what's right over what's easy, you sharpen your edge. You build an inner armor that no failure can pierce. Virtue doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't post. It doesn't brag. It just is. And that quiet strength is rare. It's magnetic. It's unbreakable. When you live by virtue, you stop being controlled by opinions. You stop chasing validation. You stop pretending. You start living with peace that no one can touch. Because the moment you stop needing approval, you become untouchable. The Stoic doesn't perform for the world. He performs for his conscience. He doesn't chase image. He builds identity. He doesn't seek to be admired. He seeks to be aligned with truth. Virtue means doing the right thing when the world isn't looking. It means being the same person in the dark as you are in the light. So from now on, don't live for praise, live for principle. Don't crave attention, crave authenticity. Don't build reputation, build respect for yourself. Because when you live for virtue, you win the only game that truly matters, the one within. Drop this truth in the comments. I live for virtue, not approval. Because once you stop chasing validation, you start walking in freedom. The Stoic path. If you've made it this far, something in you is already changing. You're done running from pain. You're ready to face it. You've seen what comfort does, it kills the warrior inside you. You've seen what emotion without control does, it chains you. You've seen how chasing fairness, outcomes, or approval keeps you weak. And now, you know the truth. Power lives only in mastery of the mind. The Stoics never promised ease. They promised endurance. They didn't chase comfort. They built character. They didn't seek to escape storms. They learned to stand still inside them. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus. They wrote not for fame, but for survival. Their lessons weren't words. They were weapons. Tools to stay strong when everything falls apart. And that's what these laws are. Not philosophies, but blueprints for power. Each one chisels your weakness into wisdom. Each one turns chaos into clarity. Each one reminds you, you were never meant to be ordinary. Because the truth is, you can't control the world, but you can control yourself. You can't choose the storm, but you can choose your stance. You can't stop pain, but you can stop breaking. That's the Stoic path. It doesn't give you an easier life. It gives you the strength to live it fully. So from today forward, walk differently. Speak with intention. Act with discipline. Think with clarity. Love with depth. And move through chaos with calm. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. Because when your mind is strong, nothing external can shake you. Drop this truth in the comments right now. I am becoming unshakable, day by day. Because this isn't motivation. It's transformation. Every hard moment is training. Every failure is feedback. Every day is an opportunity to rise again. So don't stop here. Keep walking the Stoic path. Keep showing up. Keep choosing strength. And don't stop until you become unstoppable. This is Behind Mind's secret. And this is your reminder that you were never meant for comfort. You were meant for greatness.